Hi and welcome back. So yes, it's another video, basically the last and final one about Flashpoint, which of course ended at the time of this recording. It's been a really good LTM mode and I've enjoyed it a lot, as I've said before. So this was the last and final games that I got in last night with JHD and Viper, and I thought I would share them, of course, as I always like to do. So my name's Nightlo44, thank you for checking out the video and all those things. Literally, before I get into the main content, as always, of course, do remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. Alright, well, let's get into the videos. So basically, as regards to Flashpoint, it is, of course, pretty hectic. And I do find that, certainly sort of since playing a little bit of duos tonight, there's definitely a few things that I've noticed that are very, very different to the gameplay. But, I'm going to talk about that in another video, which I'll probably try and post tomorrow. And, of course, then we can sort of discuss from there. But first up, of course, is actually one of our epic wins. Now, this was pretty crazy. So we literally discover a team later on the ship. I do manage to actually down one of them. Unfortunately, I don't get the kill for it because they're just a bit too far away, and it's a bit stupid to, of course, go running in and even fight against two people. When one jumped down, they literally fly across onto the zip line. I don't quite get to down them, which was surprising considering it was a lifeline. I don't understand why they didn't go and try and get the revive, but however, it is one of those things that sometimes people like to do. I think they just thought that we could just be taken down and then they could deal with it afterwards. Very strange, but there you go. So it literally is lots of thermites being thrown. They seem to have every grenade possibly that was available. Of course, Lifeline's health drone, as I've said before, is quite useful, but not having the body shields or the shields to sort of restore is a little bit of a nightmare. Unfortunately, we lost Viper in the craziness as well. Couldn't do anything for him, but later on we get him up and he has his redemption, so always a good thing, and really good. But yeah, so they did camp out on that ship pretty heavily. They seemed pretty keen to kind of just stay there. Unfortunately, I had to shield swamp. I wasn't really that keen on doing so, but I didn't know if I was going to make it necessarily to, of course, the heal zone. So in the end, I just thought, well, a shield is better than none. Let's grab that and then get the hell out of here. Now, of course, as you can imagine, I mean, pushing on to swamps, it is a pretty hectic place, but actually, surprisingly enough, it is one of the more successful places that me and my friends had in terms of wins. I mean, I think out of the 14 wins I ended up having overall, I think I had about 6 or 7 wins here. So that was a sort of a 50% kind of win ratio almost when it came to swamps. Now you might ask why. Probably because there's not as many tall buildings, not many as places to camp, and of course then, probably things like the heal or the final zone is a little bit out in the open, so people can't really take too much advantage of it, unlike water treatment and some other areas. So anyway, I mean, run back in. I managed to get Viper up. I do run into the building. I managed to find him, actually, fortunately, a gun. We found him a flatline. I mean, I know it's not the most perfect gun ever, but at the end of the day, at least he was able to fight with something, and that kind of obviously is a useful thing, given that there was only 3 other squads. So I'm literally running around. I'm sort of saying, right, okay, there's got a shield, got a helmet, and here's a flatline as well. Have some heavy ammo, because fortunately I've got a bit. You can have 120 for the moment, hopefully, and a scope as well. This should be all good. If you're quick, then make sure we're not getting attacked by other squads, because this unfortunately is the thing when you kind of recall people in. Sadly, people are going to want to kind of go for you, and they're going to want to take out the weaker squads in order to win. And Flashpoint, I mean, like I've said many a time, I mean, it's a sweaty mode, literally very crazy, and of course, like anything there, it is one of those ones where you're just trying to kind of stay alive, get the position, and try and kind of, fight it out until the end. Luckily, having a caustic on the team, I mean, Viper doesn't use him that much, but fortunately you can have the gas traps to kind of fortify a building, get the height position on the roof, and then it's just a case of pretty much kind of waiting. And as you can sort of see there, I can sort of see the caustic peeking out. Unfortunately, shot the drones. There was definitely a couple of people mucking around. In the end, you didn't know which squad was which, and you couldn't really guess it. Sometimes they didn't really move all that well. They were a bit bottish, so again, you're trying to take that to the advantage. I managed to get my shield up to purple, which was great, and of course, it replenishes it within the heal zone. So the blue didn't really matter too much because the first fight we're in, it really kind of didn't make any difference. I managed to down the caustic, but unfortunately, this time round, he does get revived. survived. Sad shame, but you know, you're too far away, and of course you can't really push for it because you're just going to end up being, it's going to be a suicide just for that one kill. It isn't worth it, especially when you're trying to get the wins. Now, talking of wins, JHD needed only one win and some kills in the heal zones to get, of course, the overall Mastery Aftermarket badge. Viper did need a little bit more, and sadly he didn't quite manage to do it because we only got the one win last night. Sadly, we didn't get the second. We came close a couple of times, but just couldn't quite clutch it out. It is a really tough mode. There was a lot of people, I think, sweating at the end because they also were after the badges. They were trying to get it all, and it turned out to be a little bit of a nightmare. As you can see, just to make it worse, there's then a Bangalore ultimate, which is absolutely horrific. I managed to down the caustic again, but sadly he throws a trap. I try and do the sort of the drone, but for some reason it doesn't seem to affect or do anything. I don't know why, and unfortunately we all get down, but luckily Viper does the right thing. He manages to stay alive, jumps onto the tower, and he clutches out the win. A fantastic win, and very well played from him. So it was very nice to, of course, do that, get another win, and all those things. Now, we do end up in swamps again. This is for another different game, but again, it's one of those things. JHD and me were playing with a random Mirage who actually wasn't that bad, and it turned out to be yet again another quite good fight as well. And it was nice to get, you know, like this was a sort of a match that we played, I think, earlier yesterday, if I remember. I can't quite recall, but I believe it was something along those lines. So again, you know, it was just trying to grind down the wins. JHD needed 2 wins as of yesterday. We managed to get both of them, fortunately, and as I say, that was a really nice thing. A little bit disappointed that we couldn't get the win side of things for Viper. It was so close. He wouldn't have got the overall badge because he just didn't quite have enough kills for the Flashpoint areas, but to be honest, that was actually quite a tough challenge. I was really surprised, actually, that a lot more people struggled at that than perhaps they should have done, but it was quite actually a tough mode. I think overall this particular mode was very sort of focused on, you had to be in the right place, you had to have the right weapons, you had to be pretty much kind of at a confidence where if you didn't do the right thing, you were going to then die. And that happened a lot, you know. I mean, like, it definitely did. I mean, we didn't play it all the time, by all means. You know, there's only going to be times when people can be on, and I tended to mainly only play this when there was actually a proper squad. But, you know, the frustrating thing is that, as you can imagine, you're trying to just clutch out all those things for the challenge, and it is pretty damn hard. But as you can sort of see, I mean, like, you know, the highlights are that it's pretty action-packed, there's lots going on. I kind of missed the mode already. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but I actually really liked it. But, you know, I'm sure that a lot of you will have seen that actually there's been like the Shadow Creatures one LTM, I think it's Fight or Flight mode again, has actually been, or is being brought back as of this Thursday. So I believe it's Thursday the 22nd of October, which actually technically will be in a couple of days' time. So, you know, there's going to be another LTM. I'm sure that there will be lots of footage about that. I'll definitely be doing videos covering that side of things. But I'm looking forward to, again, just more regular LTM modes. And I hope this is kind of moving forward something that they're able to do, where there is a, you know, an LTM in rotation, because let's face it, I mean, I think that, you know, the game needs variation. I think we all look for different things to do, challenges to push us, free skins, free other stuff is always nice, and of course, you know, just a little bit of something to push for those who want a badge or something, just to say that they took part in this event. And I do definitely feel that that is something that I personally kind of enjoyed, simply because at the end of the day, I just like to have something that maybe I can kind of say, yeah, I actually got something out of it, and it was really nice. But, you know, I mean, everyone is different with what they kind of want and what they kind of look for. But I just thought that, yeah, it's definitely a really cool thing to be able to have something to aim for. And an LTM mode that is different. I mean, it was Permanent Kings Canyon, never bad, really. I definitely did enjoy that side of things. And, yeah, I mean, as I said, it's definitely a mode that you've got to enjoy, and you've got to kind of, you know, just look at overall every single thing about it. Now, of course, as you can sort of see there, I'm in the house. The Octane is getting knocked down as well. Always good to take them both out. I go and find the Wraith as well, who's crawling underneath nicely, and of course I finish her off as well. Ironically, they didn't have a gold knockdown shield, so there must have been another team member knocking around somewhere. I didn't even know where they were, but you know, I mean, it's very possible that of course, with so many sort of chaotic things, shooting, Swamps is still pretty hectic, but again, I don't think it's nearly as bad as some of the others. And of course, you've got good old Pathfinder up in heights as well. But there was just so many people like surrounding and things like that. So you know, we've literally got all over. I missed a couple of shots, and unfortunately, I managed to get the assist, which was a little bit gutting, but well, you know, it's one of those things that does happen. Got the Mirage up, I'm running around, try to finish off the final person. Of course, you know, again, there's a Rampart that decides to push me for no reason, and yeah, we quickly get out of there as well. It's pretty chaotic, as I say. I mean, this turns out to be a very clutch win, I think. To be honest, we weren't even sure that we were going to win this particular match. Nothing is guaranteed. It's pretty hectic, as you can kind of see. And yeah, I mean, I think that gameplay-wise, I'd like to think that you guys are going to enjoy that. So yeah, this is pretty much it for me as regards to the speaking part. I'm going to add some music that will play over the footage. Let me know if you enjoy it and all that stuff. And of course, if you want to drop a like on the video, excellent. If you want to subscribe, help me towards the 100 subscribers before end of 2020, would be amazing. And if you want to give any feedback, of course, constructive feedback, then let me know as well, because again, I would really like to sort of hear, you know, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what I could do better, all those things. That would be absolutely amazing. But apart from that, I think that's pretty much it for me for the moment. So I hope that you have a great rest of the day.
I like